Hi, welcome back to Truth Be Known. I'm your host, Timothy Asingwire, and this is Rite TV Uganda. We are on set with Reverend Rogers. He has been helping us to get through some of the things that Jesus spoke about. What did Jesus mean? That's the topic of this series. And today, we deal with another one. As we get in there, I'd like to welcome Reverend Rogers to the set.
Thank you.
And I'll kick it off, Reverend Rogers, with an interesting scripture here. In John 8, 54 down to 59. And here it says, Jesus is answering the Pharisees. It's one of the controversies of Jesus. And he said, Jesus answered, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honoreth me, of whom ye say that he is your God. Yet ye have not known him, but I know him. And if I should say I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you. But I know him and keep his saying. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. I can imagine the look on their faces.
Yes.
Then said the Jews unto him, thou art not yet 50 years. Hast thou seen Abraham? You have not yet even made 50. Have you seen Abraham? Jesus said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. Then took they up stones to cast at him. But Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and saw passed by. So, Reverend, the question now, how does Jesus use the phrase, I am? How does Jesus' use of the phrase, I am, connect to Exodus 3:14?
I hope you have heard the context of the passage and you can already tell that we are in trouble.
Yeah.
Here is Jesus claiming that Abraham, who lived thousands of years ago, saw his day and was glad. And the Jews are wondering, you're not even yet 50 years. How can you claim to have known or seen Abraham? Are you crazy? And to make matters worse, Jesus says, before Abraham was, I am. Please, notice Jesus doesn't say before Abraham was, I was. He's not using the past tense. So this is not a linguistic problem. This is not about grammar. And when you look at that phrase, I am, which seems to be out of sync with the grammar, Jesus is basically referring to Exodus chapter 3, verse 14. Now, you all may remember that in Exodus, we have an encounter between God and Moses. God has called Moses to go to Egypt and engage the Pharaoh and rescue the Israelites from slavery and lead them to the promised land. But Moses is asking, when I reach there, especially to the Hebrew community that is enslaved in Egypt, and I tell them the words you have given me, that you are going to rescue them, they are obviously going to ask me who sent you. So what is my answer going to be? And what was God's reply? You go and tell them that I am who I am has sent me. God describes himself in that narrative as the I am who was sending Moses. Now, thousands of years later, Jesus says, before Abraham was, I am. What is Jesus saying? If you look at the same phrase, Jesus is saying, number one, I am God. He's saying, in fact, don't even worry about Abraham. I was the God who revealed myself to Moses in Exodus. So when you think about me, don't just think about me as far as Abraham is concerned. Think about me as the God who has always been. My name is not I was. It is not I will be. It is I am. Very consistent, always who I have always been. Talking about his eternal nature, his eternality. Now, people, you can understand why people in Jesus' day would have confusion about Jesus claiming the I am title. Why? Because they are thinking about Jesus in his human nature. That's why they can say, you are not even 50 years and you are claiming to have seen Abraham. I mean, they know that Abraham lived thousands of years ago. Jesus in his humanity has been around for a few years, not even more than 30 at that moment. So they wonder, how does a man who is not yet 50 claim to have been with or seen a man who lived thousands of years ago? and it is not making sense. Why? They are thinking about the human nature of Jesus. They are seeing a man before them. But Jesus is saying, look here, I am more than a man. As a man, I may be less than 50 years of age, but as a God, I have always been. You are there worried about Abraham. In fact, the one who revealed himself as I am to Moses in Exodus, on Mount Sinai in the burning bush, that is the same God you see before you today. The difference is he is now wrapped in human flesh. He is now coming among you in a body. But he is the same God and he has not changed. And of course, the Jews of his day, number one, understood that he was claiming to be God, because only God could rightly take the title of I am. And what is their response? A man claiming to be God is a blasphemous man. Therefore, he deserves to die. And what is the punishment? Stoning. So they try to kill him by stoning, and Jesus hides in the crowd and disappears because his time to die had not yet come. But again, what we are saying here, usually when you hear people misunderstanding statements like this, it's not that what Jesus was saying was impossible or difficult to understand. You can see that the people in Jesus' day understood him.
They knew what he was saying.
If they thought he was just a man talking crazy things, that would not be enough reason to stone him. They are stoning him because they understand his claim to deity. He is saying, I am God. And they are saying, that is nonsense, you are blaspheming, and you deserve to do what? You deserve to die.
About the reaction of these Pharisees, do you believe that among some of them, they believed that he actually was God? Some of them
along the way, yes.
We see a Pharisee, I forget his name, but he came to Jesus in the night.
Yeah, Nicodemus.
Nicodemus comes to Jesus in the night and is asking him all these questions. He was among them that believed.
That's
Do you
right.
think that some others could have believed it but feared?
It is very possible that they could have believed him but feared to come out. And that is why, in fact, one of the Gospels, Jesus issues a warning to them. He says, whoever is ashamed of my Father or disowns me, I will also disown him in front of my Father. He's been teaching his disciples about how to follow him, how to be committed to him, how to love him even more than they love their relatives and themselves, how to be ambassadors in his name because he matters. And then, in contrast to the disciples who are willing followers and proudly proclaiming him, they are the Pharisees who are talking about him, against him, people who are trying to make him look bad before the crowds. And so he issues a warning. Those who disown me, I will also do what?
Disown them.
Disown him before my Father in heaven. So watch out. What you are doing is going to cost you. It's not just a mere of speaking against me now. It has eternal consequences. But of course, you also have some Pharisees among them who would not speak out openly. And you have people like Nicodemus who will hear during the day quietly, and at night they come tiptoeing and say, wait a minute, I had a couple of questions, follow-up questions from what you said during the day. Yes, I do believe that there were some who were really convinced, but from the fear of the crowd and the fear of Pharisees,
and
they would not come out.
All that, they couldn't come through. Reverend, I'd like to pick a question from the audience. And there's someone here asking, what does Jesus' eternal nature mean for believers today?
Simple. If Jesus really is eternal as he claims, it means he is God. And what do you do with someone who claims to be God? You bow your knee in worship. You live in honor and obedience to his will and to his word. If we all believed that Jesus was God, worship would be the appropriate response. And you see, when worship happens, it doesn't stop at worship. People who worship Jesus as God also go out and witness for him.
True.
They don't just go and acknowledge that he is God, they come back and keep quiet business as usual. True biblical worship results into evangelistic witness.
Yes.
That those who are convinced about his eternal nature or as his deity as God want to tell the world, about young and old, want to move on the hills and the mountains and proclaim that Jesus is God. So if people come out of worship and they keep quiet, you should wonder whether that was the true biblical worship. Worship does not only affirm you in what you believe about God, but it inflames you with a passion to tell the world about who this God is. So worship and witness are the appropriate responses to understanding the eternality of Jesus.
Thank you very much, Reverend.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us for this segment. We understand the true nature of Christ. We continue to understand it. Well, I hope, again, I keep repeating it, that you are studying this word, that you are going out to search out these things for yourself. Thank you for joining us for this segment. Follow us on all our social media channels. The name is Rite TV Uganda, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. The show is Truth Be Known. See you.
Thank you for the love.
Our dear esteemed viewers, thank you so much for subscribing to Rite TV channels and for always taking time off to watch our programs on Rite TV YouTube channel and on the website, as well as following us on all social media platforms. As you all know, the gospel of Christ was given to us for free because Jesus paid the price. But to be able to spread it to others requires resources and financial support. Rite TV provides Christ-centered teaching of the Word of God through evangelism, through discipleship, leadership development, and mentorship. We would like to thank you so much, our dear followers, who have always supported us in all ways for us to be able to spread the true gospel of Christ through our different programs. We therefore humbly request and call upon you, you whose lives have been inspired and challenged for the better by our programs, and especially the gospel preaching and the testimonies told by our guests, to please extend a helping hand by donating funds so that we can continue doing God's work. You can donate funds on the mobile money numbers or the Rite TV bank accounts indicated right below. On behalf of Rite TV, I would like to reiterate our heartfelt appreciation for your support and thank you once again for helping to spread the gospel of Christ. Thank you for supporting Rite TV and helping us make a difference.